What's up, future shred lords? Welcome back. Death to the fingers. You're probably wondering what happened to me. I've been in computer hell. Of course, this is just kind of a test to see if I can get the actual video and the audio working now. The last one worked out all right, but the rendering process was a disaster, so I couldn't actually render the last file out. So I've made a few changes here to the video input and all that good stuff. So I'm making the video again, just being a little bit more conservative because obviously we got to get the videos up and going again. I apologize, I know. But, you know, I had to transfer over to the new computer, and that's really sort of the focus of this rant a little bit, because I'm just like, wow, you know, like here we are talking about colonizing Mars, and you see the kind of like police state and security state measures that are going on right now, the data collection and all the rest of that stuff, and using AI and what goes on the internet and whatnot for following you around and predictively trying to, you know, sell you stuff and all the rest of that. There's really Philip K. Dick stuff. It's crazy. You know, Minority Report crap and iRobot. It's like a bastard child of those two things with a little bit like a sprinkle of surrogates thrown on there with the internet and whatnot. and I guess we're sort of careening towards Johnny Mnemonic or whatever it is. So I don't know, but the thing is, you know, like I bought all the parts of the computer, put it together and stuff like that. And then, of course, you know, it can't see the hard drive. So I have to flash the BIOS to get that up. And then I have to use the Windows sort of whatever creation tool to basically create the Windows environment. And then all of a sudden I have to become the master of the virtual hard drive because I'm trying to figure out how to seat the new image that I took from the last one. They're like, oh, no, you can't do that. And I'm just like, you can't? And I'm pretty sure you can, but whatever, it wouldn't see the hard drive. Maybe I didn't partition it again. There's like some other maybe functionality I'm not actually even paying attention to because I'm just in a tizzy to get everything going. Like, you have to understand, with a lot of the music software, some of this stuff is monstrous. Superior Drummer took me 8 hours to download and install. I actually kind of did it over at night so I could sleep for most of the time it was downloading, because they're like 50 gigabytes a piece. Same thing with Omnisphere. It's like on nearly 60 gigs, right? So these are massive, massive files, and they take a long time to download, even with my pretty good internet, although it's only about 7 megabits per second or something like that. It's, you know, I need like 20. Come on, boys. That's my point. You know what I mean? Like we pretend we're so civilized and we have so much technology and power and everything like that, but it's always invested into the silliest things. You know, all the drivers with respect to the motherboard were out of date, and a lot of them were generic and stuff like that. I got the blue screen of death at least 5 times, you know, with hardware issues and whatnot. I'm just like, honestly, when I bought this motherboard, why isn't there a USB stick in there that has like a little diagnostic tool and all the drivers? And basically what you do is connect your computer to the internet like you normally would, and it just does its thing and goes and accesses Asus's driver database based on the hardware that you're using and installs the appropriate driver. And it just keeps doing that until it's like all the drivers are up to date. You know what I mean? At the beginning, when you're setting up Windows, there's no real function that I could see where I can just store basically all of my preferred features and all of the tweaks I make to the desktop and to all of the functionality inside there for sound and whatnot. Because if you don't do this optimization process, you get problems, clicks and pops, and they you can get into issues where the things die because you know, a sleep mode kicks in or some other idiocy. I mean, it's just nuts, but it is what it is. So, you know, you have to do that every single time when you know, put the new PC together, put everything on there again. It's not like, just take this old Windows 10 environment that I was just using and copy it like verbatim over to this new Windows environment, regardless of the hardware requirements. See, that's the limitation of the system image, because it copies all the hard drive requirements too to interface. It's like a perfect image, if you will, of your Windows system. So if you're trying to take it and move it to a new, more updated computer, it doesn't just copy over the Windows aspect of it and all of that information from your desktop and all the rest of that. It's now basically forced to do the hardware stuff too, which obviously is going to cause you a problem. Where's the AI for that? You dial into Asus on the internet. You're like, I'd like to use the AI sort of feature. You're like, I'm having a problem with my hardware. AI's like, no problem. Connects to your computer, like via remotely, and diagnoses all the problems. Right again at the beginning. This is before you're doing anything, but you could do it afterwards too. I mean, just don't keep any sensitive files on your computer. I mean, I wouldn't keep them on there anyways, kind of thing. But you know, just FYI for security purposes, whatever you don't want seen or you don't want people to basically have access to, just put it on a memory stick and then encrypt it and just put it away. Right? But that's my thing is we don't even have that level of functionality. We have AI, we have powerful tools and stuff like that, but are they actually being used for things that would be construed as useful for you and me? Because I don't think so. Like, there's a perfect situation for AI. That's perfect for it. Diagnose all the issues, look at all of the technical information, you know, understand instantly the architecture of the computer and how all of these sort of systems intermingle. I'm supposed to understand this concept and this procedure and this, you know, whatever platform, TPM or whatever else crap it is. Like, I looked into that. They're like, upgrade to Windows 11. It's like, okay. And then it failed. Probably because I didn't enable the TPM thing, which is in the BIOS. Like, and that's just it. Like, as soon as I upgraded to the new computer in Windows 10, almost immediately, Windows, the first day was like, let's do Windows 11. Which I've heard is not that great. I'm thinking about actually just giving them the $30 and keep using Windows 10 for another year and then see if they can't wait them out kind of situation. I mean, I doubt it. But again, look at, they have like this crazy Orwellian AI crap built into the software now, like this Cortana on steroids. It's just annoying as hell and whatnot. And that's the main focus instead of actually developing a platform that does 99% of the stuff that we're actually not trained or even care to do. Why is it up to me to spend all this money and then spend more money and time essentially basically troubleshooting this really expensive appliance? Do I have to do that with the Xbox? No. Well, isn't that how it's supposed to work? You know what I mean? And these companies that build these software packages and everything else, it's just, there's a lot of cases, there's no indication of whether it's working or it's not working or something like that. You know, you don't know if the computer's been seized or it's starting to choke or whatever else it is. There was a moment when I was bringing up my old desktop because I figured out on the virtual hard drive that you can just copy files over. And I'm like, okay, fine. That's almost as good. Right, because then I don't actually have to move all the, although I did, of course, move it to the new hard drive. But the point being here is that was like this crazy sort of ordeal and drag the stuff back over to the other one in terms of copy. And that's just it. Like copying the files over, I did a file transfer yesterday. It was probably at least 500 gigs in one shot. Took like 4 hours. No problem. By USB. Just plugged right in the front. But I tried to do a backup. Same way. Guess what? Denial. If I actually plugged it into the motherboard, I bet you it would be successful. Now, I'll let you figure it out. I'm like, what is the point of having these USB, ports at the beginning, at the front there for that kind of stuff if they don't actually do the job that they're being advertised for? It says connect the drive via USB, plug it into there, and basically the backup fails because reasons X. And of course, Microsoft just gives you some generic, like X08 dash and some other string of numbers and letters. And then you're supposed to go look it up on the internet and be like, what's this error telling me? Like a memory allocation problem. Oh, why not just say that? You see what I mean? Like it's almost designed to be purposefully frustrating. And I've noticed that about a lot of things. The law, purposefully frustrating, a very useful tool for almost any human being to be able to defend your interests. And it's very important to know that stuff, because trust me, the way that you're being abused the worst is by way of the law. You would have a much, much better life if you actually learned how to use the law. But that's just my opinion. And the second one is this computers, right? Literally a gateway to the greater world and stuff like that. And they've gone through extraordinary levels to choke off human communication and the ability for information to flow and all the rest of that stuff. So, you know, I just think that the priorities are really messed up. In 2025, I can't just plug a bunch of peripherals into the computers connected to the, you know, load up Windows connected to the internet and basically get all the drivers installed in one shot. And then having a big giant, you know, splash screen that just goes, you know, with the people blowing, you know, the party favors and all the rest of that stuff. They're wearing their hats and, you know, explosions going off and all the good stuff, confetti, streamers. Your system is ready to go. It's rock solid, baby. Here are your metrics. You know what I mean? You get like a little certificate. No. You get like trepidation and uncertainty. You're like, was it a one-time thing? Was it because it just was a weird boot or what? Again, even still, the stability of the systems themselves are a little bit circumspect. So I don't even think we're making that much progress there. There were at least 20 failed installations. And some of them I had to go in and do manually. Why? You know, I already have this app that does it. Try to do it. Sorry, can't install. Error code, something I don't actually know what that means, or you know what I mean? I'm too lazy to go look it up. Go actually get the driver to be like, I'll just force install. And it's like the same application that launches the same app, but now it installs the driver. So that's where I've been, basically scratching my head and becoming a computer expert, I guess, and trying to get this stuff desperately back together. If this video works and I can put it up, then we'll be back in the green, if you will, with respect to making the videos, and they will start again on Tuesday. Thanks for joining me. Wish me luck. She's been a bit of a week. We'll see you in the next one.